All right, so we're going to hit up our cars routine. We're going to start off with neck. Want to make that circle as big as possible. If you have pain, please stop. We're going to get 3 each way. The goal is to try to lock in that joint above and below. We're going to transition down to spine. So now we're going to lock in that joint above and that joint below. So hug yourself again, crunch it down. Now we're going to move on to our scapula. Scapula are those 2 floating bones in the back of our shoulders there. They sit on our back like this. And the goal from a visual representation is to make a circle where they're moving around as big as possible. So we're going to move our arms straight out in front, and you'll notice that my hands will stay still as possible, but I'm going to try to move my scapulas around my body. So big conscious focus on keeping that joint above, meaning your arms, and that joint below, my ribs and my back, as locked in as possible so I can isolate my scapulas in that big 360-degree sphere of motion I'm trying to get. 3 forward, 3 back, make that circle as big as possible. Now we're going to transition to shoulder. We'll do 1 arm at a time here. A lot more things to manage here, considering I'm going to make a big 360-degree sphere. So what we like to say is keep that side from the ribs to the hip locked in. That foot's heavy, that rib's locked in. And then as we start to move our shoulder, we're going to get as much rotation without changing my body's orientation. So lock in, create pressure, pack the air down and in, come up and across. Notice how my arm is staying externally rotated as long as I can. Rotate that arm in as I come back. And when I get to the side here, I'm going to reverse by pushing my thumb back as far as I can without feeling pain and stopping when I need to stop, and then start to slowly unravel, come back out, down the same way I went up. We're going to go 3 on the right. Locking in that same side position so those ribs and those arms and those hips do not move. Just focusing exclusively on that shoulder and getting as much rotation, flexion, extension, abduction, adduction as I possibly can. We'll go on to the other side. Again, start off with the arm there, pack in that rib, come on up, rotate around. 3. Each circle, try to make bigger and bigger. Once we're done with 3 here, we're going to move on to elbow. On elbow, we're going to lock in our elbow position, so we'll rotate our arms outwards. Now that joint above is now my shoulder, and my joint below is my wrist. So I want to lock those 2 in. I'm going to flex at the elbow, rotate my arm in, come on back down. The other way you can explain this is a supinated position into a pronated position. 3, and then we're going to move on to wrist. Now on the wrist, that joint above is this forearm, so I want to avoid pronating and supinating. I want to stay in this fixed position, and that joint below are my fingers. So I want to lock in my fingers and lock in that forearm. If I'm struggling, if I'm going here and I'm moving my arms, we can simply lock it in and create a block here. If I'm struggling to maintain my finger position, I can just make a closed fist. But as a whole, we want to start off here. Forearms are pointed in the same direction as we start. Come on in, Make the circle as big as you can coming around. And then we're going to rotate facing the other way. If you're struggling again to keep that forearm fixed, just grab that wrist. If you're struggling again to control your fingers, make a closed fist. Goal is to make that circle as big as possible without making any changes at the forearm or the fingers. 3, and then we're going to move on to hip. So hip, we treat the same way as our shoulder, lock in that same rib position. For balance, grab on something to solid. I'm just going to do this directly in front of you. So we're going to bring this knee up. I'm thinking lock in that rib position, lock in my torso position, bring that knee up as high as you can, rotate, pull that knee out. As I'm pulling it out, my sternum, my belly button are pointed straight ahead. Rotate while keeping that knee up. Push that knee back, a little bit of extension. And then we're going to come on back, drive up and around into the start. We're going to go 3 each way here. Remember, keeping this torso in this fixed position. So I'm not rotating, I'm not leaning, I'm not bending. I'm just trying to stay as locked in. It's like a statue up here. So other leg is locked in. Make that circle and that sphere as big as you possibly can. Imagine I have a dot that's going over my knee. I'm trying to make that dot, make it as big as possible circle as I can. We'll go on to the other side here. If you're struggling to maintain position, even holding on, create tension on the opposite side. So if I want to create something here, I'm holding on here, create tension, lock it in. It's just about giving feedback to get that right joint moving at the right time and the right sequence. We're going to go 3 each way here. Make that circle bigger and bigger every time. Create tension, create stability. Lock in that joint above by not leaning and not collapsing. Control your body while you move a joint through space. Last 2, we're going to make our way to the ground. So we're going to find something stable, seat here. We're going to hug the back of our leg. So if you can, create as much of a lock or anchor point on that joint above, or that bone above being our upper leg. And we're going to try to fix that so I can get as much rotation at this knee with the shin rotating out. So we're going to start off with the shin rotating out. We're going to extend up, rotate that shin in, come on down, keeping that leg pointed in, come on up, extend, come on down. And we're going to repeat that process 2 more times for a total of 3 reps. We're actually going to stay in the same leg. And we're going to lower our guard. So we're going to simply lower that guard down to our shin now. So I'm locking in that joint above. And if this looks similar to what we're doing on the wrist, it's exactly what it is. We're going to treat the wrist the same way as our ankle. It's just hard to govern our ankle without giving some feedback here. So we're going to go 1 ankle at a time. We're just going to make that circle as big as possible. Now, fortunately, you can't really see my toes, so that joint below is a little easier to manage on our feet than it is our hands, because we have more dexterity there. But we still want to be cognizant of where my toes are going as I'm making this circle around that ankle. 3 each way there, and we're going to transition to the other side. So we'll go the lock here, brace it up. We'll go 3, and then we'll lower ourselves down to our shin, and we'll finish off on that final ankle. That's it. All right, so today we're going to get into a half kneeling position. So you may need a towel. If you're comfortable, if you got carpet and you just can put that knee in the ground, just remember we're going to be on the ground for a pretty extended period of time. So just maybe grab a towel. But other than that, equipment-wise, anywhere, let's hit it. We're going to open up with pails and rails, 90-90, hip in, turn and rotation. So set up a 90-degree angle here, 90-degree angle here, and then we're trying to rotate towards the back leg. And you should feel some sort of pressure in this inside part, somewhere in this general vicinity, right? There's just a lot of stuff. Get into that good stretch position, go into diaphragmatic breath, and try to relax. As always, going through our cars, going through these pails and rails, do a self-assessment. How are my joints feeling? And if this is feeling tight, and we're going to a movement like we're going to get today, a low lateral squat, you know, it's going to be pretty hard to get through a full range of motion. So getting that full assessment and figuring out if it's tight, restricted, painful, you know, these are all really important metrics that we can track on any given day just to make sure that we can have that great session on that day, right? We're not expecting everyone to feel great and be perfect on every given training day. We just need to know that information sooner rather than later to make that right call and change, okay? So holding the stretch period, just doing inventory, a little tight. I'm training hard for the past couple of days, putting a lot of loading. Maybe I'm getting 2 a days by doing anywhere and every day. Just take this time to really do a self-assessment and making sure that we're doing our due process to figure out just what it is I have on that given day. So before we transition to our pails and rails, just quick explanation. Breath in, pack the air down, create tension through our body. We're trying to rotate this leg. So if this is my leg here, I'm trying to rotate it down, and by doing so, I'm going to drive the foot into the ground, right? So I'm taking that pails, I'm rotating that arm. It's actually externally rotation of this leg. So we're going away from the stretch you're going to do. The rails, we're going to go internally rotate, and we're going to pick that foot up. When we go into our rails, try not to collapse and dump forward. We've got a lot of good work with this specifically position and specifically internal rotation. Really fight, create tension, pressure, lift. If you get 1 inch off the ground, that's great. Just keep fighting for that 10 seconds. Okay, let's take a deep breath in, pack the air. Let's create tension. Remember this position we're in. We're going to drive this back foot into the ground by rotating the upper leg 20%. Maintain that tension through our body, 40%. 60, 80, 100. Hold this for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay here and lift. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Maintain. 3, 2, 1. Parachute down. Follow up with your torso. Try to get a little bit more upright and a little bit more rotated. If you're cramping, it means you did a great job. We're going to get another wave of this, and then we're going to start this aggressive journey of hip abduction. And if you have not done a pails and rails with hip abduction, I'm just going to give you a you're welcome in advance. We'll go into some pop culture here in the next pails and rails. I know that's what you're all waiting for. Take some time to realize just how interesting this might be for me as a coach. I know you're probably not thinking about that, but imagine me talking to an imaginary person in front of me like he's right there or she's right there. All right, let's get ready for this pails and rails here. All right, another wave here. Let's make it a little bit better, a little bit more. You know your end range, so fight to hold that position. Fight to get a little bit more. Let's see if we can get a lot better in terms of hip internal rotation. Here we go. Set up, deep breath in, pack that air, create pressure and tension throughout our body. 20% down. 40. 60. 80. 100. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, and reverse. Up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Parachute down. If you have a cramp, shake it out. So a couple breaths here. Then we're going to transition to that knee in front. If you have a towel, place it on the towel. If you don't, just go right in the ground, and if you're comfortable with that. So we're going to go half kneeling. So if my left knee's in front, put that in the ground, and we're going to straighten out our right leg. So one knee down, and then put our kickstand out. Quick added thing of like noticing this position. So we're looking for abduction, meaning I'm pulling it out, right? I'm opening up the door. Now in this position, this is abducted. When I'm more stacked over here, this is actually less abducted. So we want to find that stretch position. A little disclaimer, we're going to do a rails here. So if I'm so far over and I can't lift without changing, find that medium. So go a quick test rep. like, okay, I could probably lift up there a little bit, and then we're just gonna hold that stretch position. So get a little stacked over that position, sit your hips back, and then just try to think about getting really heavy here into the ground. And we're just gonna hold this into the stretch position for 2 minutes. Good diaphragmatic breaths. Okay, so did everyone see the Dave Chappelle Mark Twain award? Big shout out to Michael Cooper. Sent me a text saying I need to watch it, so I completely agree. He was 100% on the money. This has been a just amazing run for Dave Chappelle. If you're watching this, Dave, just appreciate the genius and the thought. We have about 95 subscribers on YouTube, so it's probably a long shot that Dave Chappelle is following us on YouTube, but hey, you never know. But amazing job, really funny, really well done, very thought-provoking. I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. If you do have a Netflix account, hopefully you're not stealing Netflix from someone else's account, right, Kev? Yep. Okay. Yeah, and other than that, just reading good books. Great Mental Models, Volume 2 is out, so check that out. If you read Great Mental Models, Volume 1, I think you'll be really excited for Great Mental Models, Volume 2. Will Greenberg asked if Cody Romness finished Great Mental Models, Volume 2, and I was like, well, technically it's my book, and he was just looking through it, so I doubt he did. But you never know. Cody's done some exceptional things, and he could read something without actually having the physical book in front of him. So. All right, so without further ado, let's get ready here to go a little pails. So on the pails now, I'm going to go into adduction, meaning I'm driving this leg into the ground. On the rails, I'm going to go into abduction, pull that foot away. As I go into my rails, try not to change your body angle, right? Keep this same position, lock in, get both arms really heavy, and then lift that foot away, all right? So let's take a deep breath in, pack that air, 20% down to the ground. 40, 60, 80, 100, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Parachute down. Now try to widen out a little bit more if you can. So the folks out there who talk about, hey, how come we don't do anything for the glutes? Here's your answer. I'll let that sit in for a little bit. If you need to pause and take a walk around and just really pontificate on that for a second. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm probably a fitness or strength conditioning professional who uses the word pontificate is very rare. So if you're watching this, if you're one of our 95 subscribers, think about that for a sec. YouTube's a great medium, by the way. Big ups to YouTube. We're a big YouTube gym. We had the conversation of being a Vimeo guys, but made the wholesale choice to go YouTube. I think we're better for it. Same thing between Snapchat and Instagram. We went wholesale into Instagram hard. And look at us now, 3,000 followers. Make sure you put your people up for that so you can get someone that you care about, a potential opportunity to get a free digital program, custom. That's an amazing deal. Make sure they're following us too, right? That's don't go ahead and expect to get a free program without just putting in a little legwork in there and just going to Allegiant Gym, Instagram, and saying follow. All right, you guys ready for round 2 of these pails and rails? All right, deep breath in. Pack that air, create tension, 20% down. 40, 60, 80, 100, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and reverse. Up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Parachute down. Whew! Man. Get a couple breaths there. If you need to get a quick drink, walk around, shake it out. please do so. We're going to stay in this position. We're actually going to make our way to what we were for rep 1, and we're going to go 10 passive range liftoffs with a 3 count hold off the ground. So remember the cues on this is breath in, pack the air down, lift, 3, 2, 1, parachute down, and eventually it'll just be 2, lift, 3, 2, 1, lift, 3, 2, 1, all the way to 10 reps, all right? So here we go. Without further ado, let's get set up here. Let's find that great position. Pack the air, push it down, lift, 3, 2, 1, parachute down. Lift, 3, 2, 2, parachute down. Lift, 3, 2, 3, parachute down. Lift, 3, 2, 4, parachute down. Lift, 3, 2, 5, parachute down. Lift, 3, 2, 6, parachute down. Lift, 3, 2, 7, parachute down. Here we go. Lift, 3, 2, 8, parachute down. Lift, 3, 2, 9, parachute down. Lift, 3, 2, 10, parachute down. Nice job. Move that leg around, shake it out. We're actually going to transition to 90-90 with that leg forward and then the opposite leg back. So just in that start position, 90-90, we're going to get set up for pails and rails, hip internal rotation here. You know, the other one that's always been out there is just sitting in silence. You know, just sitting with your thoughts. Getting on a porch, you have a rocking chair and just staring. The lost art of sitting in silence. Board games too. Great opportunity to connect with friends and family. Also too, journaling. If you like that. And I guess it's just a matter of like realizing like, hey, there's a lot of opportunities there. A lot of great entertainment, a lot of great content, a lot of great YouTube. Man. Maybe pick up a hobby. Haven't heard much feedback in anyone's become an expert in the art of whittling wood. Maybe they're out there. Or building in a, one of those ships inside the glass jars. If you ever wanted the time to do that, kind of hoping this is on silent and you're just going through this and you're just like, mouth is moving, but I have no idea what he's saying. He's probably saying something really technical. But this one's for those 95 subscribers out there just loyal and following us. Your love and support is what keeps us going forward. Hope everyone's enjoying the Zoom workouts. Really cool to see the members out there just getting great training in, and the coaches are out there just keeping the sword sharp and just ready to come back here whenever we do get the opportunity back open and just keep providing this high level service and helping you on your journey and your path. Okay, I think that's roughly 2 minutes. We're going to go into pails, rails, hip internal rotation. Remember, we're driving that back foot down, externally rotating on the pails. We're driving that foot up, internally rotating on the rails. All right, so let's take a deep breath in, pack that air down. 20% down. 40, 60, 80, and 100. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and parachute down. The other day I was doing my pails and rails and I got a cramp in my hamstring on this one. And it felt like just a baseball was trapped in there. And I was like, I want to see how long I can actually hold this for. Man, that was really uncomfortable. And then I shook it out and the baseball disappeared. But what an amazing thing. Like what a crazy thing that we can create this response in our muscle that it just goes into complete contraction and hold and sustain. Like what physiological rationale is that for, you know? Like, man, it's crazy. And there's a purpose there, and we can go into the nuance of that, but just think about that right now. Like, man, you don't get into these positions, your body responds by cramping, say, hey, we're not comfortable here, and we're gonna go into this complete lockdown. Like, what an amazing thing. Like, I don't know. Maybe open up a neuromuscular physiology text here. It'd be a nice deep dive. That's an abyss that I don't think most people know how deep it really goes. Okay, so let's get ready here again for the next round of pails and rails. We know the level and threshold we can go. I mean, baseball, cramp, like in your hamstring kind of belly, kind of intensity. We're looking to progress here and create more and more and more so we can get more and more. And when we get closer to coming back in training, we have a greater potential to get more out of it, right? So let's set up in. Let's get a deep breath in, pack that air down. 20%, 40%, 60%, 80, 100, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Parachute down. Whew! Good. Get a couple breaths there. If you need to get a break, shake it out, pause it. We're going to go into that half kneeling wide with that back leg we're just in for the other side. So if you're just coming back, we got our towel, or if we got a softer surface on the ground, great. We got a wide position set up in our kickstand. Remember, the further this leg is over, the more of that abducted position I'm in, the more I'm over that hip, the less abducted. So find that area where I can lift. You'll notice that potentially one side versus the other can abduct a little bit easier. So finding a way to push as much as you can in that position safely. All right, so once we get here, let's get into a good stretch position. We'll just go right into our breathing. Into the nose, that's in the mouth. We're trying to relax. We're thinking getting that top leg heavy, pushing, just letting it sit to the ground. You might feel that like crampy sensation in the outside part of your glute. You might just emotionally be prepping for that. For the folks at home that have been doing like more pails and rails and cars than they've ever done in their entire life, and they feel like really achy in their joints, one, it goes back into sleep and hydration and all these other really things that aid in recovery. But two, you got to look at it from the perspective of like, this is intense loading of a joint. So when we do something like that, you have a global response when you do these like multi-joint movements, like a squat or a hinge. But then we really concentrate that intensity in one localized area. That's propagating force into that hip or that joint or wherever else we're trying to do it. And that's a lot of intensity for that. So it's just like the same response of like, oh man, I just did 8 sets of 8 and my quads are really sore. It's the same response, it's just a lot more local into that hip joint or that specific range you're trying to do. So it's the same recovery response. Just take care of your body, listen to your body, know the threshold which you can go. You know, we're only as good as what we can recover from. But it's perfectly normal to feel really achy in that area. But we do need to be able to discern between good and bad pain and knowing what the threshold is and not surpassing that. And you're probably as good of a reader of that as anyone. You know your safe, tolerable limit. Okay? All right, so we're going to get into a pails and rails here. The pails are driving that foot into the ground. The rails are lifting that foot away. Try not to change your torso position. Get both arms really heavy. Probably get that inside arm a little heavier. All right? Deep breath in, pack that air. 20% down. Ramping up, 40%. 60, 80, and 100. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maintain and lift. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, parachute down. Oh, left side's not as good as my right side. There we go. Oh, man. Oh, it's cramping right there. Hell yeah. And that's what they call effort, folks. My senior year of high school, I won the Triple D Award, Dedication, Desire, and Determination. And just for context, I'm a 4-year starter at this point. I was the Defensive Player of the Year my junior year. And you talk about like a complete like emotional setback, but I owned it ever since that. And though I realize I won't be the best in everything, but I can give the most effort. I can give all 3 Ds, the dedication, obviously, check. Determination, check. And desire, check. And if you're Coach Thomas back down in Enfield, Connecticut, don't think I've forgotten that and how it was a complete demotion and setback. Also, too, one of the other players on the team, he wasn't even captain. They were just loading up the stats because they thought he could have the best shot to go All-State. Definitely had better stats than him. He was definitely a better player. All right, closing the yearbook now. Doesn't mean that I didn't apply all 3 Ds. Let's get those 3 Ds going here on this next set of pills and rails, shall we? All right, deep breath in, pack that air. Drive that foot down to the ground about 20%, 40%, 60, 80, 100, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse, lift, 10, 9, instead of cramping, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. That was the second one, the determination that you guys just saw live and in person. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, we got to get those lift offs here. Not cheating, you guys. Not cheating myself, not cheating you guys. We got 10 lift offs here. Pack the air, lift up. If you need to pull out a little bit of that position so you can get more abduction, great. Just fight. Fight like hell. This is hard. There's no bones about it, and this is what we got to do. So let's start setting up. If you need a pause to shake that leg out. If not, let's get it. Deep breath in, pack that air. Lift. 3, 2, 1. Parachute down. Pack the air. Lift. 3, 2, 2. Parachute down. Pack the air. Lift. 3, 2, 3. Parachute down. Pack the air. Lift. 3, 2, 4. Parachute down. Pack the air. Lift. 3, 2, 5. Parachute down. Pack the air. Lift. 3, 2, 6. Pack the air. Lift. 3, 2, 7. Pack the air. Lift. 3, 2, 8. Pack the air. Lift. 3, 2, 9. One more. Lift. 3, 2, 10. Perfect, guys. Shake that out. Walk it around. We're going to get going into our pillar prep here next. All right, welcome back. Let's get a little dead bugs, bird dog. We're going to go 10 each side. Remember, if we're struggling to maintain our back on the ground, if we're struggling to maintain control, create more tension. This is your best asset to learn how to move and control. Create pressure, create tension, right arm, left leg on your dead bug, right arm, left leg on your bird dog. 10 each side, 2 rounds. Okay, so let's get set up for our dead bug. We're going to be on our back, arms up, right arm, left leg, 1. Left arm, right leg. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 'Let's go ahead, transition. I think I did a bonus there. That's all right. We're going to go bird dog, right arm, left leg. Remember, we're trying to push our hand and our heel as far away from each other as we possibly can. So we'll tuck that chin. We'll set our back position, and this is locked in. Right arm, left leg. Reach out as far as we can. Left arm, right leg. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let's get one more round of dead bug, one more round of bird dog. Yeah, I know this is repetitive, but quality matters here. You know, like make sure you're focused, make sure you're getting the full rep, make sure you're getting that full excursion, make sure you're getting that full control, right? Protect this area by keeping it locked down to the ground. All right, second round. Right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg, 10 each side. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. Bird dog, 10 each side here. I'm just trying to hopefully stall so this training program can get a little longer away. Here we go. Right arm, left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. So that's our pillar. If you need to get a quick drink and pause, please do so now. All right, so here we go. We got ourselves a pretty doozy of a day here. We're going to go 3 exercises, all supersetted. We're going to go back down to our original position, this 90-90. And what we're going to do here is we're going to do an abduction, meaning I'm going to lift my whole leg off the ground, and then I'm going to straighten out my leg, bring it back, and then parachute it down. So not full speed, because you can use a 4-0-4-0 tempo. I'm going to lift, extend, in, down. Now you notice how my torso dropped. What I want to do is find that position where I don't have to adjust here. So if I go from here to here, just stay here, right? So that'll be 6 each side. We're going to pair that up with a low lateral squat. Remember, when we look at squat, feet are glued to the ground. So I got my wide base, and then I'm going to sit down, squat to one side, and then as I transition to the other side. Now, there's an exercise called a Cossack Squat, meaning that I get more weight over there and I get better depth. And as I transition, there. Now, depending on where you're at on the scale, like man, like you're Andreas, like strength and mobility, go for that Cossack squat. If you're like, hey, this is a really hard position for me, I feel a lot of a stretch, and it's really hard to go to that range of motion you feel comfortable with, right? The more I can get, that over there and pick that foot up, the greater the degree of difficulty, because it's more range and it's more load on that leg. But figure out that threshold that we can hold and sustainably do. Quality is king here, right? So if I lose position, if my torso is collapsing forward, if I'm just kind of not moving the way I want, think about that backup plan, right? So start off with the Cossack squat, pick that back toe up, get more weight there, transition to the other side, and then back and forth. Now, that's going to be a 4-4-4 tempo. So it means I'm down 4, crossing over 4-3-2-1, down 4, crossing over 4-3-2-1. Yeah, it's going to be pretty gnarly. 6 each side there. And then we're going to go on our stomach. So imaginary, I'm on the ground here. My hands are here like I'm about to do a push-up. And we're going to go glenohumeral extension. So pick up away from the ground, hold that for a 4 count, and then parachute down. If you have a towel or a couple towels and you want to get a higher start point, just like we talked about on practice 3, when we went flexion and we lifted up, place on a towel or some books, great, awesome, use that strategy. Find ways to make it more difficult for yourself. But the goal is to pull as far away from the ground without lifting my head or my torso away from the ground, just trying to get as much extension there at the shoulder. And that's also going to be 6 with a 4 count, okay? Grab the towels, grab whatever you need, make sure your water's handy. We're going to go 3 rounds in the circuit. Okay? So first drill, let's get lined up in that 90-90. Get a quick test rep. Okay, that's where my torso is going to be. Get set up here. Cue's going to be pack the air, lift, extend, back in, down. Okay? And up, extend, in, 1. Lift, extend, in, 2. Lift, extend, in, 3. Lift, extend, in, 4. Lift, extend, in, 5. Lift, extend, in, 6. Great, let's switch sides. All right, let's hit it. Find that good position. Ready. Lift, extend, in, 1. Lift, extend, in, 2. Lift, extend, in, 3. Lift, extend, in, 4. Lift, extend, in, 5. Lift, extend, in, 6. Lift, extend, in, 6. I did 7. Here we go. Well, I did the makeup rep for the rep that I did for the demo. You get it. All right. We're going to go lateral squat or Cossack squat. So set up with your feet wide. Let's go down to our favorite leg, whatever that is. So we're going to go 4, 3, 2, 1, transition, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 2, 4, 3, 2, 2, 4, 3, 2, 2, 4, 3, 2, 2, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 4, 4, 3, 2, 4, 4, 3, 2, 4, 4, 3, 2, 4, 4, 3, 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, 6, 4, 3, 2, 6, 4, 3, 2, 6, 4, 3, 2, 6, and rest. Yeah, that's pretty hard. Remember, survey came out. Can you make anywhere harder? Ask, and you shall receive. Whew. Let's get this glenohumeral extension. Hands in. Glue our torso to the ground. Remember, we're just picking our knuckles away without changing our torso. And lift. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift. 4, 3, 2, 2. Lift. 4, 3, 2, 3. Lift. 4, 3, 2, 4. Lift. 4, 3, 2, 5. Lift. 4, 3, 2, 6. So if you need to pause, please do so. If you're watching a Zoom or Instagram live video, this is usually the part where the coach is getting a quick drink and you're staring at them drinking water, which is always fun. I think it's the most interesting part behind watching the coaches take them through a workout. It's like, you're going to have to pause this at home if you're watching this on YouTube, but it's great to watch like Andreas look tired because he looks like he's completely made of steel. So it's good to know he's human. So that's cool. But if you need to pause, please do so. I'm definitely human. At least the older I get, the more human I feel. But think about that. Huh? Take that as a quotable. All right. So we now have a gauge on what this is. Find a way to make it more challenging. If you can't get into that Cossack Squat or Cossack Squat onto that lateral squat position, just think about where I can go, get in that depth comfortably, and that transition. You saw me, like my torso was dropping, my hips were rising, I was making like almost a U. So now I'm thinking, okay, like can I keep my torso upright, and then can I keep my hips lower on that abduction plus knee extension, that hinge at that like abducted position of my knee. Maybe I want to think about getting more upright. And then on extension, maybe putting some towels or something underneath my hand so I can get a further lift so I can make it more challenging, right? And that's what we got to think here. It's like we don't have, okay, it's time to add 2 kilos to the bar. We don't have that luxury. So we need to be more conscious of how we can make it harder or more challenging by increasing the intensity somehow. And it's just about position. It's about focus, about intent. It's about being creative and really, really like intuitive to figure out like these things that like, all right, I don't have that luxury that just relying on at 5 kilos. I have to really be smart and really strategic about how I make it more difficult so I can create that positive adaptation. All right, that's enough sandbagging and milking. Here we go. Let's get set up here. So find that bandwidth. Let's get set up here. Ready. And lift, extend, in, 1. Lift, extend, in, 2. Lift, extend, in, 3. Lift, extend, in, 4. Lift, extend, in, 5. Lift, extend, in, 6. Awesome work. Switching sides. I think I'm going to hit there, so I'm going to do a little quarter turn there. Another great angle here. Here we go. Pack the air. Lift, in, 1. Pack the air. Lift, in, 2. Lift, in, 3. Lift, extend, in, 4. Lift, extend, in, 5. Lift, extend, in, 6. No bonus rep there. Let's get popped up on our feet. Let's make it a true superset lateral squat. Let's go into that opposite side to start. So pick your favorite leg this time. Squat it down. Let's start off with a hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 2. 4, 3, 2, 2. 4, 3, 2, 3. 4, 3, 2, 3. 4, 3, 2, 4. 4, 3, 2, 5. 4, 3, 2, 6. 4, 3, 2, 6. Finish. Awesome work. So if you need to grab some books or a towel, please do so. And it's worth mentioning too, the reverse. If that's too hard, grab that towel and place it under here. Now my start point's a little higher. Okay, let's get set up here. Deep breath in, pack the air, and lift. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift. 4, 3, 2, 2. Lift. 4, 3, 2, 3. Lift. 4, 3, 2, 4. Lift. 4, 3, 2, 5. Lift. 4, 3, 2, 6. Woo. Got one more. Again, if you need to pause, get a little bit more of a rest, please do so. Got one more round here. You know, and if you can get kind of the motif here, it's, you know, we're trying to get a push and a pull every single day. So, you know, again, without external resistance in the upper body, you know, we can just do push-ups till the cows come home, but eventually we're going to hit some sort of point of diminishing returns. We need to have structural balance in our program. And without external resistance, we're going to run into a lot of like really big issues if we just constantly do push-ups and we don't have anything to pull in the opposite direction. So it's been very strategic of making sure that we're choosing exercises and things and progressions to have that balance in there, which easier said than done, but that process of always looking at principles govern us. Structural balance, if we push it, we need to pull it, has to be true. And it's unfortunate that we don't have all the equipment that we have in here. It's not an excuse, right? That would be the easy way out as a gym or a philosophy. Like, well, it's true until we don't have it, and then we just do what we want. I don't think that should ever be the policy. And we should not be limited by the lack of tools. We should be limited by our lack of our imagination and our ingenuity. And thankfully, we've been exposing ourselves to really cool models and really interesting philosophies that really govern themselves off these principles. And we have these abilities to do these things. And we can leverage them here in the setting in conjunction with this stuff, but now it takes on more of an emphasis now it takes on more of a priority. So as we're going through this, and hey, just full disclosure, just putting it all on the table, like it's hard to externally load you body weight wise unless you have a bar or a dumbbell, at least pulling in posterior chain wise. But this is where we make up the ground. And this is where we make up the difference in terms of coming out of this not injured and not hurt or worse because of it. It's not an excuse to get hurt and just do crappy or very poorly thought out programming. We just need to work harder and be more strategic on what we do as a philosophy, but it's still got to be true, right? So as you're going through this last set, we got a great opportunity to work some hip abduction. We got a great opportunity to work some lateral or frontal plane stuff or lateral stuff. Great opportunity to work on pulling. And that same thought of like, hey, we're doing push-ups with the 4-4-0 tempo. Like, that's hard. There's no doubt about it. I did split squats with 4-4-0 tempo. The other night we did with Corbin, we did some posterior chain stuff, so some towel leg curls. You know, that has to take a bigger initiative. We got to focus harder and push harder. So let's make this last set really, really great. And then let's come out of this, finishing this work week up the right way. All right. So let's get set up here in that 90-90 position. Challenging position to start. Let's make sure we push and we get as much out of this as we can. Ready. Lift. Extend. In. 1. Lift. Extend. In. 2. Lift. Extend. In. 3. Lift. Extend, in 4, lift, extend, in 5, lift, extend, in 6. Switch sides. Grind that good position, challenge yourself. Ready, pack the air, lift, extend, in 1, lift, extend, in 2, lift, extend, in 3, lift, extend, in 4, lift, extend, in 5, lift, extend, in 6. That's done for today. 2 more exercises, right? All right, lateral position. We're going to sit down, whether it's full depth or that depth we feel comfortable with, into our second favorite leg. Let's hit it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow transition. 4, 3, 2, 2. 4, 3, 2, 2. 4, 3, 2, 2. 4, 3, 2, 3. 4, 3, 2, 3. 4, 3, 2, 4. 4, 3, 2, 4. 4, 3, 2, 5. 4, 3, 2, 5. 4, 3, 2, 6. Finish. Come on. 4, 3, 2, 6. Transition, transition, transition. Nice work. Whew. Nice. Last set here. Hey. Whew. Good position here. Let's set up here. Best effort here. Pack the air. Lift. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pack the air. Lift. 4, 3, 2, 2. Pack the air. Lift. 4, 3, 2, 3. Pack the air. Lift. 4, 3, 2, 4. Pack the air. Lift. 4, 3, 2, 5. Big squeeze here. Last rep. Pack the air. Lift. 4, 3, 2, 6. Oh yeah. Yeah. Whew. So we're going to finish up with some fascial stretching. If you need to pause right now, get a quick drink, please by all means do so. If you would like, you can grab your towel, or if you have a balance pad, and you can put it underneath your knee. I recommend it because we're going to be on that knee for a while. First one is we're going to go in a hip flexor. So we're going to place our knee down on the pad. Now you'll notice at the gym we usually do this with the foot elevated. So if you want to grab like a chair or a bench or a couch, something just to elevate that foot, by all means, please do so. But more importantly is we want to set this pelvis. So we're going to go ahead, lock this position in. This heel is directly behind the knee, and then we're going to take our other leg and place it up. Now this is an important part because what we're doing is pulling fascial slings in opposite direction. So in this position, we're going to push this knee forward. So that lead knee forward. And what I mean by knee forward is not necessarily dorsiflexing. We're thinking about pushing at the hip forward. And this is going to go ahead and set this pelvis. Now from here, I'm going to reach my arm forward. And that's going to pull this pelvis forward. And I'm going to creech across. So I'm creating this anchor point from this position that's pulling on this sling. And you should feel a lot more of a stretch on this hip flexor right here. So we're thinking we're actively pushing forward and across, pushing this knee across, anchoring this pelvis in, and really trying to stretch out the tissues on the front part of that down knee's hip. As always, diaphragmatic breathing. There's this concept called centering where I want my nose over my sternum, over my belly button, and directly in between my foot and my knee, and I'm just driving this arm across. Looking for about 30 to 60 seconds here, or 10 to 20 deep breaths in. If you feel pain, obviously stop. We'll get one more deep breath. We'll slowly transition out of that. So we'll set up on the other side. Line up this foot behind this knee. Place the other one up. From here, I push the pelvis forward, and then I'm going to drive this down, legs, arm forward, and then across. Let's get one more deep breath in. Slowly release. And then we're going to go back to this position of half kneeling wide. So we're going to take that knee down. Remember our kickstand, just like we did in our pails and rails of half kneeling wide abduction. The wider it is, the more I'm abducted. So I should get more of a stretch now on this adductor. From here, I want to set my pelvis. So if I have a belt, I'm going to pick the front end of my pelvis up, or my belt up, to make sure that that belt, if it's a cylinder, it's parallel to the ground, right? So imagine it's a bowl of water. If that belt is forward, the water is going to dump forward. So pick the front part of your belt up, make that bowl level. That's anchoring in. You might actually feel a pretty significant stretch as is there. And then we're going to press our arms away, keeping that pelvis. Let's slowly release out of that position. And then we'll go ahead, transfer to the other side. Feels like I got a baseball bat to my hips. That's training, folks. All right, set that pelvis, good wide position. Widen that kickstand out there. Belt lock, go forward and up. Press your arms away. One more breath in. Slowly release. And then we're going to go to everybody's favorite 90-90 position. So now I have this pelvic position where I'm really abducted, and I'm actually really adducted, meaning coming in. And then I'm really internally rotated, externally rotated. So my pelvic position, you notice is that when I have this like let's say that half kneeling position or that wide position, we talked about keep picking the front end of the belt up, right? So now if you look at that pelvis or that bowl, it's tilted depending on where your stiffness are. But if you can see me, there's an imaginary line coming like this. So the goal is to get as heavy on this back leg as possible and level out the bowl that way. And then we're going to organize our hands. So if you see, let's say that you're really, really tight abduction-wise, like myself right here, maybe I just go here with one arm. If I'm feeling pretty good and I have a pretty good control here, we're going to go with two arms. It's all about what we can sustainably hold because we want to get to longer positions here and keeping that pelvis there and really getting good abduction and internal rotation, right? So wherever you feel like your threshold is, find it, whether it's one arm and then rotating back or two arms and rotating back and then hold that stretch position. One more breath. Slowly release. Try to transition to the other side without getting a violent hip switch. We'll set up. We're going to try to level that bowl out. If we can go one arm, find it. If we're going to go two arms, as good, just more specific to where you're at in terms of hip abduction. One more breath in. Slowly release. Transition out. We're just going to take this thing home with some breathing. So we're going to go into breathing now. We're looking for breathing as this normal sequence thing we're trying to do depending on our position. So the first order is going through how we want to breathe. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth is the appropriate timing and rhythm of this. And what we're doing on that is to creating a really good diaphragmatic contraction, as well as teaching inhale and exhale kind of a focus there. And what we're going to do is change our position. And really we're just going to define, like, for you, find the position where, depending on how hard you just trained or what our ultimate goal is, to get the best respiration mechanics possible. And we have three different positions we can really leverage here. The first position is going to be a crocodile position. So I'm lying on the ground. I have my hands underneath my forehead, and then I'm just going to breathe in that position. And that is a great position for general relaxation. We have a lot of surface area on the ground, so we can get a really good, relaxing breath work done. Now, what's interesting behind that, though, is I'm actually pushing against the ground with my stomach. So now when I inhale, I have to create more pressure so I spread myself out over that ground. So if I'm struggling to take air in, a crocodile position might be a really good strategy for you to use. The second position is a 90-90. So you can find a wall, you can find a bench, you can find something like a couch or at home, where I'm putting my feet up on that fixed position. So imaginary chair underneath my feet here. And what that is it's going to be a little easier to take air in because I don't have anything blocking it. But you're going to find as I breathe in, maybe that low back comes off the ground. So I need to be a little bit more efficient at creating stability without that external feedback, but we need to be really good at pushing that air out. And you can further accentuate that up by elevating and pushing through your heels and creating what they call a hemi-bridge. And that's going to take that pelvis and put it in a different position. And that's going to create a whole different emphasis. If you're normally a person that inhales and arches their back, it might feel really, really challenging. You might feel a cramping sensation. And now this is taking respiration and breathing into a little bit more of a training exercise. So depending on where we're at, if we're really struggling with inhalation, get on the ground, go crocodile breathing. If you really want to work on more mechanics of breathing and work on more exhalation, get into a 90-90. And then the final position is an inverted position. So you can go stacked up on some books, or you can just simply take our body at a negative angle, meaning that my hips are higher than my torso. You just simply go in a kneeling and elbow position. And the goal being is the more inverted I am, the more requirement I'm going to have for exhalation. And it's going to be harder to take breath in, so you actually feel a premature block in there, because when we breathe, that diaphragm actually contracts, and we're going now against gravity, right? So normally that diaphragm can just drop and descend. It still contracts, but it has the assistance of gravity. Now we're actually going against gravity, and we have to push up and away in that. The more inverted I am, the more impact it has on that, and you'll feel a premature block on that. And what we really need to do on that is taking it away from that inhalation and more towards the exhalation. And now we have to really work to push that air out to really create that pressure that we need. And as we go through the spectrum of this, I just trained my tail off. I'm really tired. I really want to get some good parasympathetic kind of breathing and relax, go into a crocodile position. If I'm feeling okay, and I still want to work in some good strategies, whether inhale or exhale, but I want to get a little bit more impact from that, go into a 90-90 position. And then I really want to work an exhalation strategy. Get into that inverted position, elevate yourself on some extra pillows or some books, or if you have some balance pads at home, to get a little bit more of that negative pressure so I can push against the impact of gravity with that diaphragm. Find whatever strategy works best for you. Still going to keep that same rhythm of breathing in throughout the nose. We can accentuate that diaphragmatic contraction by pushing our tongue to the roof of the mouth. We can accentuate it a little bit further by getting a cadence to it. We can hit a 4-4-8 tempo, meaning 4 seconds in, 4-second hold, 8 seconds out, and then we can actually utilize the final 4, holding that breath out for 4. And what this does is really tries to control and give some deliberate emphasis towards that specific area that we really typically need to work. And that focus on breathing out with a forceful contraction to activate that diaphragm in any position is always a great strategy. If you just want to relax in breathing and do an inventory from head to toe, also great. But make sure that we're getting this breathing component in, especially in these periods that we feel like we're having a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stuff that we just simply have no control over. Get grasp of how you can control that 1 to 2 minutes at any given day, that whenever you want, through your breathing.